Hi Avish, how are you?
Hi, Sid. How you doing, buddy?
I'm fine. Still trying to get to grips with the passing of Sushant. It still, in a way, hit me hard in the sense that it wasn't something you would have expected, especially from an upcoming star who had made blockbusters. And yes, it was on Sunday. I saw this on the news on TV. It was really shocking. What your take on this?
Yeah, look, when I got the news at on Sunday morning, yeah, it shocked me completely because this was one of the guys that a lot of us were familiar with, and a very bright actor, up and coming, had so much of potential going forward, and life is just cut short in just a moment. It's just the old saying goes, live each day as it comes, because you don't know when it's going to be your last day. So
True.
this story is obviously generated a lot of media attention
Hmm.
and generated a lot of attention from the public all around the world. So yeah, there's a lot going here, and there's a lot of theories,
Hmm.
behind
Yeah.
this suicidal uh, act by Sushant. It's very tragic, a real tragedy.
Yeah, man, it's painful because you wouldn't ever want to see this happening, especially to someone as long as with being a good actor, he also had a good soul, you know. He seemed that whenever he was with people, he was a good guy, and I still kind of trying to get my head around it still. So I don't know what more I could say about the guy besides
No, look, apart from his acting, he was a very easygoing and friendly guy because I think he came down to the shows a few years back. He was doing a promotion with his when he was obviously co-starred in the Indian hit soapy on ZT, which is Pavrita Rishta, which
yes.
obviously made him gain a reputation of some sort, and then obviously it flowed into Bollywood as well, But there's so many events that obviously took place before this could have happened, And I think
Yeah.
when we talk about the issue of depression, I don't think it's something that's been spoken enough, you
Mm.
know. And I say it, to people in the industry as well, you know, uh, this guy, he was obviously isolated, from the rest, and all he needed was somebody to reach out to him and give him some support, just a shoulder to cry on, and he wasn't given that. And 5 days prior to that, he lost his manager, which was very close to, very attached to, which was Disa Shali, and she also committed suicide. And I think that crushed him a bit, it crushed his spirit, and then he went into the depression mode, which at that moment he needed somebody to reach out to, and he didn't have that, and took his life, which is the tragedy.
Yeah. The problem is that people are too scared to open up about these things because they feel they'll be mocked or ostracized or or not understand. So I think it's something that people need to be more open about, and not just open about, but I think people need to be more sensitive about these things so that because it could happen to them out of the blue, and then
Yeah,
so I think, yeah, I don't know,
I,
yeah,
I guess the most shocking part of this, I mean, we all know his acting abilities and things, obviously his roles in the MS Dhoni story and Kedarnath, to mention a few. And
yeah,
this guy had a lot of talent,
yeah,
and over the past couple of months, he's been rejected by a lot of directors. I think it was 7 movies or something in the past 6 months that he's been rejected by. And I think Karan Johar was one of those directors that actually rejected him for a few projects, which obviously crushed him in a way, because he obviously wanted to make a lifelong career out of this, and he wanted to bring out his own character in the
Yes.
industry, and he wasn't given that opportunity enough, I felt, and I think there's some, there's this ugly um, subject of nepotism that comes up now,
Mm.
which is quite prevalent in Bollywood, and nepotism is something that's really damaging, and it doesn't warrant somebody that's on merit, it just goes by, who's closest to you, and they get the role, whereas somebody that actually was deserving of the role doesn't get it. So, I don't think actors and are taken on merit these days, because I mean, this was a guy, eked out his own career, and he was a victim of cruel nepotism by directors, by actors, everybody. There's somebody that's you're pointing fingers. There's somebody that you go back on. I guess he's not around to tell us a story, but I mean, there's so many things that can come up now. And these are the things that actually that can crush a person. To the brink of depression, and then to the brink of suicide.
Yeah, man. It's Kaliug times. But then, but now that you've gone into that angle, I mean, there are various YouTube clips regarding what you just mentioned. I think there was one from Dr. Manoj. So if people want to
Oh,
go into
so
that,
sure, yeah.
people want to go into that to get more information on regarding what you just spoken about, they can go into that. And then I think, yes, I think that's a wrap on my side. Any final words you want to say?
Look, I think we lost one of the great up and coming actors of,
Mm,
of this generation, and it takes a long time before talent like this can be found, in the industry, because he was versatile, coming from the soap opera genre
yes.
into Bollywood. He took on the roles like a pro. So there was a lot of talent that was in this guy, and it's a shame that it's been cut short so quickly, and yeah, real shame. I think the one thing that's actually plaguing Bollywood at the moment, and the one thing that's a real issue in Bollywood at the moment is the nepotism. Nepotism
Mm,
is something that's burning in the industry, and it needs to be burnt to the ground, because it's affecting a lot of actors' lives. I mean, if you're good enough for the role, I don't mind. I mean,
yeah.
if you're gonna victimize someone on the basis of nepotism, I think that's totally wrong. It needs to be burnt to the ground. Yeah, completely. Because this suicide was I had obviously, feelings of nepotism to it as well. Because I mean, it's a state of hopelessness, and nepotism brought this. So that needs to be burnt to the ground completely. From that's my opinion. That's my opinion. Nepotism needs to be cleaned out in the film industry, if the film industry is going to succeed, or else you're going to have a lot of boycotts going on. And
Yes.
fans are already aggrieved about this. Fans are upset, fans are angry. I've seen it.
Mm,
What's happening is real. It's been swept under the carpet until you lose a life and these
yes.
things come up. So yeah, nepotism needs to be buried, burned to the ground completely.
Yeah. On a final note, what I want to say is that if this keeps continuing, because at the end of the day, whether it's the Khans or the Kapoors or anyone else, they're not going to be acting forever. So if this kind of behavior is happening, we won't end up with any young talent to prosper in the industry. Not that I'm trying to accuse anyone intentionally, but there are theories on the cons. So a point. So what you said is correct. Like we need to preserve the future in general. I mean, the Bollywood industry needs to preserve their talent. So that's what I want to end up with.
Yeah, I think most certainly you've got to protect the image of the film industry, because the film industry is in danger now of their image getting tarnished by this sort of incident. And if these sort of incidents are repeated, I mean, we God forbid, we don't want to see, we don't want to see another incident like this. But if something like this gets repeated, then people are going to start having doubts about Bollywood, and they're going to be losing a lot of revenue. So I think this needs to be buried. It needs to be burnt to the ground, and you need to give actors a chance to flourish in this industry.
Yeah,
You need to give them a chance to express themselves, in any way, because at the end of the day, this is an art form, and they are artists. So yeah, you need to give them that avenue to express their talents.
yeah,
Yeah. So my condolences to the Rajput family, and rest in peace, Sushant Singh Rajput. You've been a great ambassador for Bollywood. You've been a great actor. Rest in peace, brother. Rest in peace.
yeah. I concur with you. Rest in peace and God bless. And on that note, thanks so much for your time, my friend.
Thank you, Sid. Keep well, and we'll chat to you soon.